Hello, hello everyone. It is Jackie with Pocket of Preschool, and look behind me. The new Gingerbread Bakery Dramatic Play Unit is going to drop tonight. I gotta take a few more pictures and tweak a couple more things, but if you open your email in the morning, it will be there for you to grab. So, isn't that just the cutest thing? It's perfect for December for your gingerbread unit. I even got a little gingerbread hat. This one's from Target. The other things are always Amazon. But how much fun is this? It's perfect. Gingerbread bakery is perfect to go with, like if you're doing bakery, you can add to it, like get this unit and add to it. Or you can just do gingerbread bakery to go with all of your gingerbready things that you're doing for the month of December or whenever you do your gingerbread study. Some years I actually did gingerbread in January, and that was really fun too, to kind of keep the happiness going for that month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn you guys around. I'm going to walk you guys around and show you guys all of the things. And you guys are just going to love it. It's so much fun. And again, it will go live in the morning or like late tonight, probably like midnight. So you guys ready? I'm going to turn it around. Kind of bear with me. So I'm going to try and use my tripod and so I can do demos. Okay. So here it is from the back. How cute. So I'll kind of walk you guys around. So this is the checkout stand. So we have, let me just walk you guys around the whole thing. So we have the checkout stand, and we have the table for the customers. We have a little baby there. We have our delivery truck, which is just our shopping cart. And then we have our roll tags and our necklaces. And then let me take you into the bakery. So the background is a gingerbread house that I made. We have our baker's table, which they've been baking. We have our kitchen, which we have the oven. We have our fridge that has all the cold things. We have our stand, and I put the baby stuff down there. And then this is kind of all of the, the shelf where you can see all of the treats to buy. And then this is the baker's shelf over here. And then we have some of that over there. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys around and show you all the things and kind of tell you about everything. But I know one thing you guys are going to ask is about this really fun background. So it's literally just brown butcher or craft paper, it's on a roll. We painted the the icing we painted. I dropped something shocking, I know. We painted that on just with some white paint. And we did the windows, and then the peppermints and the gumdrops and the candy canes are in the unit. So that way you don't have to make everything. Now, you can always have your kiddos paint the icing on the gingerbread house that's in the back. You can also have them cut out their gumdrops or make their own with paper plates and things, or you can use the ones included. And then we have our bunting banner and gingerbread bakery. If you don't want to cut all of that out, what you do is you staple 4 pages together and cut them out all at once. So you don't have to cut out each single one. So that's an idea for that. So that's the kind of the background. And I even put some over there. So, and I just used a lot of red trays and things I already had. Let's start over here. Let me show you guys this part. Okay. Zoop. Okay, that's as tall as it goes. Okay, so under here I have my stand that I always use, and then I just put a plate on top. We have our cake pops, which I just added a red ribbon to that. It's the one we use for, coffee shop, same cake pops. We have some cupcakes. So these you make with Mono Magic. You squish them in the pan, and then let them dry, and then let the kids paint them. We have cinnamon rolls, which are made from felt. We have some Mono Magic cookies. We have the Melissa and Doug wooden cookies, some donuts, and some brownies. You guys, these are sponges. I just coated in paint and put some sprinkles on, or glitter on for sprinkles. That's all they are. But they look so real, right? They're just those sponges from the dollar store. And then we have our menu. So our menu at the bakery, we have gingerbread cookies, we have regular cookies, we have donuts, cinnamon rolls, brownies, cake pops, gingerbread houses, and hot cocoa. So that's our menu. Now, you can also have specials. So you can have this guy over here. Let's see if I can, okay. So what they do is it's like a dry erase, so they can write the word and then write how much it is. Now, if you have threes and they're just going to be scribbling that, and that's really fine. I do have word cards in here you can use and have out so that way they can copy it. Or, again, they just leave this out and they can draw. Like they could draw their cupcake on here. So they could draw their cupcake or whatever the special is. And then I have the number line here, which is also by the cash register. So that way they can, can I get that closed? It's fine. So that way they can add some writing and some numbers in there. And again, you can also just have this with Velcro. So that way they can switch it out that way too. Going back to all of our fun stuff over here. So if we go down, we have our decoration kits. So these, I would say the customers can do these or the bakers. These are felt, the patterns included. And then what they're gonna do is they make their little gingerbread, and then I have a little kit. So there are some little mini peppermints, and you just put a little bit of Velcro on the back. And then there's some eyeballs, oopsies, eyeballs, and we have string for the mouth, and then some rickrack, which has a little, like the tiniest piece of Velcro, or no, these don't have Velcro, take it back. This doesn't have Velcro, it sticks. So then they can kind of make their little gingerbread man or girl, whatever they want. You can also do like little bows, and then we have the little icing so they can pretend to decorate them. Now, you could totally have the customers do this, so that way they have something else to do, so they could take this and they could do it at the table, and they could get a cookie. Because a lot of times you go to the store and you can decorate. Now, one of my favorite things is the gingerbread house decoration kit. So what we did is we covered a school milk carton in felt. Okay, hot glued it on. Now I only have two because, again, we don't want to do all the things. Just enough to make it fun and engaging. And then what they're going to do is they are going to decorate it with felt and the pieces. So this has rickrack. Now this is the rickrack that has Velcro on it because obviously it wouldn't stick if it would fall down. And then these little pieces are included, like the little printables, and we have a little felt door. So in this, we have little felt circles. We have rickrack. Again, there's just tiny pieces of Velcro. You can like barely see it. And then we have some peppermint, and we just cut some windows and doors just out of felt. And all of these are just some felt circles. And again, they can pretend to ice it. Now look, when they do that, they squeeze their fingers. So that's some great like pincer grasp. And they're working on all those strong, making those muscles strong. Now all the way down at the bottom, these trays are empty. So I have a sign on this one that says, in the oven. So these are the trays that the kids will put their Play-Doh treats on, and then when it's cleanup time, they will put it away. But that way, they know that the baker is working on something special over right here. And then like here are some. So maybe they made a cake, or maybe it's bread, and any cookies they make. So they kind of have a spot to put their Play-Doh creations, okay? So that's there. Right. And then moving along, I just put the babies on here in a little bucket. I have a little diaper bag of just a couple of babies. If you're wondering where I get the clothes, I buy preemies, onesies, and they're great because the kids can take it on and off. It's like the best thing in the world. Do they fit perfect? Nope. But again, the preschoolers and pre-K and kindergarten kids can get these clothes on and off. They can practice snapping, and we have little felt diapers, the cutest. And then going up, we have we have some scarves, we have some jackets so they can practice putting on their winter gear during dramatic play. We have aprons. Mine finally bit the dust after about 8 years. So I just bought like a set off Amazon. So it's like one of every color. So that's what our bakers and bakers assistants wear. And then let's see. Okay. Woo! Goodness. I'm trying to like use the little stand so that way you guys don't get knocked all over the place. So in the fridge, it's super, super simple. So we have some milk. We have eggs. These are like Melissa and Doug ones that open. You can also just put like regular eggs in there. Oh gosh, I dropped one. It's fine. Or like those eggs that are just in a carton. And then we have butter. I just painted the inside. Again, I'm trying to use a lot of real containers for this because it's lots of, it's covered in print. And this is the jelly jar, super old. And again, I just put paint on the inside. But again, covered in environmental print and pictures, all kinds of amazingness. And then don't forget the fruit, because a lot of times bakers use fruit to make all the things. Okay, so that's in our fridge. Those are the cold ingredients. And then over here, we have wash your hands. They can practice hand washing. We have some fake soap. We have the cleaning thing, so it's sneaking in some social skills and health and safety. I found this really cool office phone at like a Goodwill, and the kids go bonkers for this thing. It's so cool. It's got a big cord on it. They just love pushing the buttons and pretending. And I just put a piece of green paper right here because that was our stove and we're not going to use that. And then we have a thermometer. Oh gosh. So they can pretend to see how hot the oven is, maybe. Like, so again, we're just exploring all the different sciencey tools. And then we have our oven. And then in here, we have small plates and big plates, and then we have silverware. And I did plain colors. Now, they do have like fun gingerbread plates, but if they pick a green plate, I want them to get the green silverware. Or if they get a red plate, they get the red silverware. And again, we have big and small. So they're working on sizes, and then they can match by color with the silverware. So, and it's cheaper too to use all the plain things. And I think I just got this from like the dollar store, just for fun. That's not a necessity. All right, so moving on. Let's go over here to this side. Okay, so up at the top, we have a scale so they can pretend to weigh. Maybe they're gonna weigh the dough. So maybe they're going to see like how much it weighs or something. Obviously, they may have more than that. But again, we are just trying to use lots of science and measurement tools. Oh, we have our broom down there. And then up here, we have our orders. So that way they can put them up. And then we have our recipe book. Okay, and I want you guys to tell me in the comments. I have this cover. And then I have all the different ingredients. Oh, gosh. And then I just have blank pages. Now, do you want me, so tell me, yes, please make some recipes for us. Do you want me to make some recipes that kids can follow, like 2 eggs, brown sugar, flour, like 2 cups? Super simple on here, maybe with like 5 steps or something, or 4. So tell me in the comments, yes, add a few recipes to this. That way the bakers can use this, or they can write their own, which is also my favorite. And I just have a little hook, a magnet hook thing up here. And then we have our visual recipe on how to make cookies. Measure, mix, knead, roll, use cookie cutters, put the cookies in the pan, oven, and then decorate. There's one also on the table. And then again, I'm trying to use lots of real containers here. So again, just empty. And then I also, like you can tell this one is like very loved. Like we've had this one in my classroom for a while because it's all squished, but cut off the top parts so that way it doesn't get like ruined. You can always put tape around the edge, and then you can use the bags. And then also just add paint to the inside just to make it look more realistic. But I love using all the real containers for this unit because like they're covered in print and it's just shapes and colors and all the things. Okay, and then we have our spices, which you can tell some of these are from the coffee shop. Same thing. So if you've already made some from a coffee shop, you can use them again. Hold on. Let me see. So what you're going to do is you're going to hot glue, take the lid off, hot glue it from the inside, and hot glue the lid on. And then, like in this one, there's a real, can you see it? Like a real cinnamon stick and real sugar, or cinnamon, ground cinnamon. And then this one has real peppermints. These kind of like stick a little bit, but how fun is that? And then we have some like nuts in this one. Like how cool is that for them to see the real ingredients? And again, it's like hot glued shut so they can open and close. It's great. And then again, if you have some real ones, put those in there too. Okay, so that's that. And then the hot cocoa, which I'm going to show you in a minute. And then down here, we're going to slide you down. Okay, we have a bowl. I have 2 bowls. And then down here is the dough. So I like to keep it in a zipper bag so that way the kids can unzip and zip it closed. And then this is just a plain batch of Play-Doh. Now, you'll probably go through about 2 batches a week because they will use it so much it'll get a little bit crusty. So just know you'll probably have to make a batch of Play-Doh every week. That's down there. And then we have cupcake liners. And then our pans down here. And again, I have a whole bunch. So I have some like little cake pans. I have some cupcake pans. So again, they can put these in there and put the dough in. And then these are my cookie sheets. Now these fit in my pretend oven. So what this is a piece of cardboard and I covered it in foil. So that way I don't have to have another oven because this classroom is smaller than my other one. So again, we're gonna like just cover a piece of cardboard, put it in, and then with foil, and then it has a lot of tape on it because, you know, and you can tell, look how worn this is. Like it's, we've used this for like a while. But again, this fits in my oven, so I don't have to have like another brick oven or anything. And then I do have this like giant gingerbread pan. Okay. Anybody else tell me in the comments who gets all the gingerbread like teacher things? I loved my gingerbread study. It's like my favorite one of the year. So like I have this really cool gingerbread pan I got from like a parent or a family. So I put that in here because it's so fun. And then up here we have measuring cups. And they're actually over here. And then I have a liquid one too. And then measuring spoons, which those are at the table right now for just a minute. And then we have some big and small rolling pins. Okay. You can tell I have it on the stand, so hee. Okay, I'm coming. It's made for kids, so it's hard to get my big old body around. And then we have all the different colors of icing. So now we can work on identifying our colors. And again, these are just baggies. You cut the zipper off the top and then put paint and cotton balls in. And look, they kind of are squishy, so they can squeeze them. You could also do pom-poms. But when I put so how I get that really cool yellow is you put the cotton balls in, and the paint it, and then squish in the bag, and it kind of gets a little bit of paint on the end. So it's so fun. And then again, you can have the real containers too, but again, all of the different colors, like so fun. And then cookie cutters down here. You can have big ones, like we have a big tree and a small tree. And then don't forget to do 2D shapes, which I'll show you in a minute. So those, and again, those are right there. And then we have our bakery bags, which that little printables in there. And then our boxes. So you can tell this we've had for like a long time because it's a little ripped. But cut off some of the sides so that way they just literally have to open and close it. And then you don't need a lot. Just I have this one. And they can just put it in. And literally they do put the Play-Doh in because look, you can see like there's like residue from years past. So we have those. So we have some like large and small boxes there. And again, we have labels on all things. And these are the large and small cups because we also have hot cocoa. So again, we have a visual recipe. It's super simple. And so they get the cup. Oh, hold on. So they get a cup. And they get some hot cocoa. So look at us like using all that great fine motor. And again, look, this is not full. Don't fill it up because it's too much to clean up. And then they need some marshmallows and a candy cane. And maybe they're going to put some whipped cream on top. There we go. Oh, I didn't tape these down yet. Tape the labels down in your classroom. And then whipped cream. Whoosh, just to get an empty bottle. And then maybe they want some syrup on top. Again, the printables are included for these, but if you have the real containers, totally use them. And then give them to the customer. And then also over here, we have our clock. And it's on Velcro, so they can, again, we're just manipulating the clock. We're just exploring a clock. We're not really telling time unless maybe you teach kinder and you can practice telling time in your dramatic play center. And then we have the hours at the bakery. There also is one that has, it's the kids fill it in. That's another option too. And then do you see this over here? Oh, and then our open and closed. So, do you see this down here? Like, this is really fun. Okay, so we have parts of a gingerbread. We have some gingerbread house designs. And what they're going to do is either the baker or the customer or the assistant, really any of the roles can do this because I want them drawing and writing. This is a fun stamp piece. So they're going to draw their gingerbread man. So like plan it out and then do that. And then they would get the decoration kit, which hold on, let me go get it. So they have this. And what they would do is, okay. we're gonna take you off for a minute. Okay, better, so much better. Okay, I know I shake sometimes. So what they would do is they would draw their cookie. Drop everything away. So they would take their cookie and they would draw with markers their plan. So maybe they want to have some eyes, and maybe they want some buttons, and they can draw the icing, and maybe they want one on his head, maybe he wants a mouth, maybe they want a nose, or maybe they want the peppermints in the middle, maybe they want 2 arms. Okay, so they're going to draw it, and then they're going to take their cookie with all of the fun things, and they can pretend to decorate him or her, like to make it match their plan. Again, this is just really great fine motor work, and it's super simple to make, and you don't need like a ton either. So again, we have our little decoration kit. These are little trays are from like the Dollar Tree or Walmart. I think the dollar store. But yeah, and even if you don't do the house because you don't want to do all of that, it's totally fine. And I put these on a magnet board so that way if they want this over here, like while they're planning, they can. And then we have all the different gingerbread house designs. So now that we want them to copy them, but we want them to do all the fun different things on their gingerbread house. So that is that. Okay, so, and then I'm going to walk you over here. So that's our gingerbread decoration. Okay, oh goodness. And then, again, we have our little menu. So a customer's busy doing that. And then over here, we have our menu. So there's a menu with prices and without. Then there's a full menu, and there is a half menu. And then we have also shapes, because on one of the orders, there are shapes. So the assistant can say, like, what would you like? Oh, you want cookies and cinnamon rolls? They can mark that. And they would say, well, what kind of shape cookies do you want? So again, we're practicing talking about shapes and identifying shapes, and maybe they want to do the decorated. And there's a couple options for this bakery form too. Like maybe you don't want this at the bottom. There's just a spot for like lines so they can like scribble or write those random letters there. And then, so yeah, so how fun is this? So you could also have that on the baker's table too, totally up to you. And then we have a now serving, so that way the customer can take a number and then they have to wait. And then I just have it on like a book ring, and they will go, we are now serving customer 4. Customer 4, come to the front. Oh, no, nobody's here. Okay. Customer 5, and they would go, oh, that's me. And then the customer 5 would come up. And go. We also have, back by popular demand, the cookie punch cards, so they can do hole punches and do punches. Again, one-on-one correspondence and some fine motor fun, so that's really fun. And then we have our wallets. There is printable money included, so fun. And then we have mittens and gloves, so they can, 1, match them, and then 2, they can practice putting these on during play. We have some hats too. We also have phones and more wallets, more purses, and more punch cards. And then this is one of my favorite things. So, in here, we have gift tags. So, where's that? Oh, let me just use this dry erase marker. My bakery is kind of a mess today. Hold on. Okay. So, let's say they ordered, a box, and the baker puts it in the box. So what they can do is oh my gosh, they're right there in front of my face. Goodness gracious. Okay, so they can say, oh, I want it to be for my mom, and I have these in an uppercase set and a lowercase set. So they could do mom, and then they would put from, and they would write their name in. And then it's great because it's a dry erase, so they could erase it. But then they could put it on their box. So if they bought a box of goodies, they could have like a little gift tag for them. So again, we are just getting them writing. We want them writing their name. You could also, instead of There's like a whole family card set. There's also friend, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, a whole bunch of people in there. But you could also put your student name cards in there so they could practice writing their name too. And like I said, you can also ask to have, like at the bakery, again, I cut the sides off to make it not so hard. So they could say, well, I want 6 cookies. So maybe they could use the tongs. I'm not going to because of time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And maybe they would say, well, do you want the sugar cookies, chocolate chip, or icing cookies? Or maybe do you want star cookies, or do you want cupcakes? Oh, I want 2 cupcakes. 1, 2. Okay, and then put it all in the box. And then, I want 1 donut. Okay, donut. Let me put that in the box. And I do have instructions on how to make cardboard donuts, so if you don't have those, I got you covered. And then they could either deliver it in their delivery truck, so they could put it in there, and then they could drive it over to the block center. That's a great thing to do, is have them pretend to call someone in the block center, because they can ask, like they'll kind of walk over to the block center, ask them what they want, and they can do the order, and then they could drive the delivery truck over to the block center and deliver the goodies. It's a really great way to get some of those reluctant pretend players involved. It's also great if you don't have a lot of customers. So both of those work amazing for that. But let me show you some of the fun bakery parts. Okay, so these are 2 like IKEA tables, and I literally put Velcro in the middle. Can you see it? And that way they stick together if I want them to. Like, it's amazing. So, like I said, we have dough. Let's scoot this up a little bit. Okay. Oh. So we have our visual recipe. Now this says gingerbread cookies, but it's basically for other ones too. And we have our little container of utensils. Like, so fun. So, like I said, it's in the bag. So they're gonna get it out, and then they can close it up again, and then they can pretend to measure. So maybe they say, we need like 2 cups of sugar. So they would go 1, 2. We need some flour too, but I need the big measuring cup for the flour. Whoosh. And again, I just cut the tops off of these. Basically, and like this one I cut so that way the word sugar's on there, and I cut the rest off. Yeah. So as you're like holiday baking, keep all the containers vanilla, and I wash them so that way they can undo lids, and then they can say, shh, okay. And then they go, okay. It's all ready to go. And so now they have that. And there is like a big ingredients list, because a lot of kiddos haven't probably made cookies from scratch or cakes from scratch. So just kind of a visual to help them out with all the different things they could add, kind of, help build that background knowledge and develop that vocabulary. So they have their dough. I love, you guys, this is like a cinnamon dough, and I have the plain dough too, but it smells so good. I wish you could smell it over the phone or over the video. It's amazing. So we're going over here, and then they roll it out until they go, add the ingredients. Then we knead it, and then they knead. I have knead on here. Do you really need the dough? Probably not, but you do make it into a ball, and that's just great for a fine motor. And then they would roll it flat, and then use cookie cutters, and again, have big and small. Again, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. And then they cut it out, and they put it on their cookie pan, which again, piece of cardboard covered in foil. Have also, don't forget the 2D shape cookie cutters. Grab those, because they can practice their shapes. And then look, open my oven, and they can put it right in. Oh gosh. Ding, it's done. But look, it fits, you guys. And you don't have to you don't have to make another oven. You can if you want. Like, if you want to make an oven, like, you do you. Like, be amazing and do all the things. But or you can just cover this. Because some of us have small classrooms, and we don't have room to have the big giant box oven. I've done that some years too, though. So yeah. And then, like, what they could do is say, we're going to take these, and they're going to use a spatula, and then come over here, and they can put it on the bakery shelf. Well, maybe they would put it over there. Okay, and they would put it out for for the customers to buy. And then by the end, this will be all full. And then again, they can also do like a cake pan, which usually they just fill it up with Play-Doh. They could do cupcakes. And again, if you have the liners there, they're just gonna smash. But it's so much great fine motor work to use the Play-Doh. It's just one of my favorite things. So, yeah, I'm gonna turn it around again. Oh, hold on. We're gonna walk with me. Don't mind my socks, my feet. Okay, so here's the icing bags. I'm gonna show you guys that. Again, just put some cotton balls in a bag. You cut off the top, squish, squish, squish the paint in, and I just use the washable paint. If they're not dry all the way, it's fine. I made these this summer, and they didn't mold, so you're good. So just watch for that, though. Like I said, there's some order form options. So there's one with shapes, with notes, and again, we'll just scribble. Maybe you don't want to do shapes. Maybe you just want to see if they want to order, like, to decorate it at the table. There's that. But maybe you want to have both, and there's that. And again, you can use big clipboards. They also come small. That works. And again, there's labels if you don't have all of the real containers. And then this is my cheat for making the gingerbread cutouts. So I literally cut out the pattern, put it on 2 pieces of felt, and stapled it a whole bunch of places. And then look, you just like cut it out, and you're cutting out 2 at a time. And then I made my cookies like that. So cute. And we have our little baby. That's the cutest thing. Hold on. Oh, let me give you like a backup view again. Okay, so if your dramatic play looks like this, that means great play and great things are happening. Learning is occurring, okay? Like, it's gonna be messy, and that's okay. You can always do less. You can have less boxes. You can have less ingredients. You can have less sprinkles. You can have less cookie cutters. You can have less pans. You can always have less. You can always add more as you go, okay? Because I know it looks like a lot from the back, okay? I think it's just because the gingerbread house is very, very busy, okay? Oh, and then do you see that red? That just is kind of a visual to show kids that's kind of where the ingredients go. They're not really organized. They're just on that shelf. It's literally a piece of leftover tablecloth I had because I just cut it to match this one. Again, not fancy, but it works. So, isn't it so fun? So comment and tell me, what's your favorite part of the gingerbread bakery? Do you like the gingerbread man and house like decoration kits? Do you like using the real dough? Are you scared of using the real dough? Like, is that your favorite part? Like, this would be so much fun to make in the classroom. And then we have our babies, and then all of the fun things. Like, there's the houses up close again. Like I said, it was a really fun one to create. We always did bakery in December, or again in January too. That works too. We have done, again, I've done gingerbread bakery a ton in January before, so it works too. And it's a really fun theme to do if you didn't do it in December, because some years it's busy, right? This thing on my head, she is so, I guess it's a girl because of all. She's the cutest. So yeah, prep it and get it all ready for next week. Or we can, if you're already doing bakery, you can add it to it. This is also great for if you're doing Christmas around the world or holidays around the world, because you could add in bakery treats from different countries from each place that you're talking about. And again, you can have the kids make them with like felt or cardboard or sponges, all of the different things. So yeah, so this goes great also with the gingerbread retelling unit, which is one of my favorites, and the gingerbread 5 Senses science unit. That is a really fun one too. So I'm going to turn the camera around one time just to remind you how much fun this one unit is. So this is the retelling, the gingerbread book retelling kit. So it comes with all of these different books. And again, you don't have to use all of them. Most years I just pick 4 to do. But we added a whole bunch more. So maybe you want to do like gingerbread girl, gingerbread baby, gingerbread cowboy, and gingerbread man. Or maybe you want to do gingerbread bear. And then what you can do is there's the story retelling cards are in there. So you can retell the story. And then you can also, again, you probably would never do all the books, but I wanted to show you all the possibilities. So it has like the book and the characters and the repeated words and how it ends. And I use photos or like clip art because our kids can't read. So it's really important to, if we're doing a chart, to show the kiddos, yes, that print carries a message, but also that we need them to be able to use the chart and retell it too. And then again, you can have them vote, you can have them tally, you can do a bar graph, whatever makes your heart happy. So I hope you guys will, I know you guys are gonna love the gingerbread bakery unit. Also, check out these sparkle pants. Like, they're so fun. They're in my Amazon storefront. I just literally put in sparkle pants or sparkle jeans one day. I also have pearl ones. They're really, really fun, and it just makes my heart happy, just like the earrings and the shirt. So yeah. So I hope you guys love this unit, and you can tell there's a ton of literacy. There's like, reading, writing, they're exploring letters and shapes and sounds, and they're also doing lots of math and counting and shapes and lots of measuring, and then some STEM in there too, and lots of like health and safety, all kinds of things. So, an oral language, social skills, so many things. So I hope you guys love this unit, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Oh, before I end, if you want more gingerbread ideas, make sure to like and follow us on YouTube or go to the website, because we have a ton of holiday and gingerbread videos, like light table art, all the things. So, and just like gingerbread theme in general. So I hope you guys love it, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye.